Goodbye YouTube, I have for you guys today a Yu-Gi battle against my good friend HydreigonMaster. His channel link is going to be down in the description, so make sure to go check him out. Now looking at the team preview, I'm actually using a bit of a weird team because I have Expert Belt Raikou, I have Special Defensive MilOtic as opposed to Physically Defensive with Rest Talk, which most of them tend to be. And then I have a very weird Roserade set, which is Max Special Attack with some HP EVs, some Speed EVs, and some Defense EVs, which recently I have stopped using just because I like the regular bulky set better than this set. But yeah, looking at my opponent's team, potential threats are going to be the Umbreon. If Azelf is Scarfed, is going to be faster than my entire team and be able to gain momentum for his team. So I'm going to have to watch out for that. Umbreon is going to be severely hard to take down unless I can possibly trick it with my Victini, and if I need to, I can stall it out with my own Gligar. But also looking at his team, nothing really appreciates a V-Create for my Victini, so I'm actually going to be leading off with that. And Ditto might prove to be a bit annoying, so I'm going to have to watch out for that as well. So he's going to be leading off with the MilOtic as I do lead off with my Victini. For the first move, instead of going for the U-turn, which is what I should have done, I actually go straight for the V-Create as he does bring in the Gligar. And even though I am Jolly Scarfed, that does about 40%. And fun fact, if I was Jolly Banded, I actually would have done 52% to this Gligar, which means the following turn, I would have still been faster than it and been able to take it out with the V-Create, but that isn't the case. Now, Fing, he might want to get up his rocks. I'm going to bring in my Xatu to prevent that, but he does predict that. Goes for the Roost, and the following turn, thinking he's going to want to switch out to Umbreon, instead of going for the Toxic, I actually go for the Nightshade, and because I don't carry U-turn, I am going to be forced to hard switch out to my Roserade as he goes for the Foul Play, and that did over 100 points of damage, which should just tell you that this Roserade really is not that defensive at all. So knowing he's going to be fearing the Sleep Powder, I'm actually going to go for the Spikes as he brings in the MilOtic. Now normally from what I see, MilOtic don't tend to carry Psychic, so I'm going to stay and hope that he doesn't put me to sleep and that I'm able to live the Relic Song, and I do. As he turns into Step Form, his defense, or special defense, is actually lowered from 130 I believe to 90, and I'm going to be able to get off a huge hit with the modest Stab Sludge Bomb. Above that, I'm able to get the Poison, and because he does have Life Orb the following turn, he is going to be knocked out by that. So thinking he would go for the Ice Punch, predicting me to bring in my Gligar, I actually bring in my MilOtic, but he makes a very good prediction, predicts that, and actually goes for the Close Combat, almost taking out my MilOtic. As he brings in the Virizion, I know the possible Giga Drain or Leaf Blade is coming, so I decided to switch directly out into my Victini. Now, even if he had gone for the Stone Edge, I know I would have been able to take one, so I really wasn't too worried about it. As this turn, he brings in the Ditto, I guess hoping that he would be able to take this V-Create better than he does, and after the one layer of Spikes, it looks like I can easily finish him off with one more, but I don't want to take a V-Create on my own Victini, so I decided to switch directly out to my Gligar. Above that, this is going to be my perfect moment to go for my Stealth Rocks, which means I will have one layer of Spikes and Rocks up, which means this team is going to be taking very good residual damage. Above that, I still have my Roserade, so hopefully I will be able to get up another layer or two of Spikes. As he switches into Virizion, I don't want to take a possible Hidden Power Ice or a Giga Drain, so I decided to bring in my Xatu, but he makes a good double switch out into Azelf, possibly predicting me to bring in my Victini, and because he did that, I'm thinking he more than likely is Scarfed. I also take a bit of a risk, risking him possibly being physically based, and decided to leave in my Xatu, but luckily for me, sorry about that. Luckily for me, he turns out to be specially based as he goes for the Shadow Ball. I'm actually going to go for the Nightshade the following turn as he brings in the Umbreon. I don't want to take a Foul Play, so I'm going to bring in my MilOtic as he does go for the Wish, predicting that, which means the following turn, because the Recover or the possible Rest is very obvious, he's not going to have to go for the Protect, and instead he goes for the Foul Play just to get off a bit of damage on me. As this turn he goes for another Wish, making a good prediction, predicting me to go for the Dragon Tail, as I actually end up Dragon Tailing him out to the Gligar. Now, believe it or not, Gligar is actually faster than MilOtic, so I still do not want him to get up his Stealth Rock, so what I'm going to do is actually pull a double switch out into my Xatu as he pulls his own double switch out into MilOtic. Wow, not MilOtic, I apologize. As he pulls his own double switch out into Ditto, turning into my MilOtic. Now, because he's not my Xatu, I know I can easily go for the Toxic. As he goes for the Dragon Tail, he actually Dragon Tails me out to my Raikou. Now, for some very odd and stupid reason, I don't go for the Volt Switch. I actually go for the Thunderbolt, and then above that I'm actually going to stay in again because I want him to think that I am actually Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. That way he will he will feel comfortable switching in his Gligar, and then I can surprise it with the Hidden Power Ice. So this turn I make another stupid play, bring in my Roserade, thinking he would go for the Protect, but he had no reason to go for it, seeing as he could have easily lived another Thunderbolt, and I do lose my Roserade, which means I can only get up one layer of spikes throughout this whole battle. As I bring out my Victini, he's actually going to go for the Protect, just scout out what I want to do, and I'm actually going to go for the U-turn, and he's going to stay in. Knowing that he can take a U-turn, I actually switch into my Gligar, seeing as at this point I'm actually prepared to outstall this Umbreon. So knowing that he's going to be possibly predicting me to go for the Earthquake or the possible Roost, he's going to bring in Virizion, and I do actually go for the Toxic, which means I can set that Virizion on a timer, and because I do have the hazards up, Umbreon is not going to be able to switch in as freely as it would like to. Now, not wanting to take a Giga Drain or a Hidden Power Ice, I'm actually going to bring in my Raikou because I know I can take both of those moves. And this turn, instead of going for the Hidden Power Ice, I'm actually going to go for the Volt Switch. Again, he doesn't bring in the Gligar, which at this point in the battle I was actually a bit frustrated because I wanted him to bring in Gligar so I could surprise him with the Hidden Power Ice. But bringing in Umbreon is actually the better play as I get off a decent amount of damage, and I'm going to switch into my Victini. He's actually going to go for the Protect. Obviously, to scout out to see what I want to lock myself into and to be able to gain some leftovers recovery, sorry. So I'm just going to stay in and just go straight for the V-Create, which could have been a very dumb play on my part, because if I had not been able to finish off the Umbreon, he could have gone for the foul play and finished me off instead. But he does bring in the Ditto. Unfortunately, V-Create doesn't finish him off as he barely lives with 1%. He's actually going to go for the Trick, predicting me to switch out as I do bring in my MilOtic. But at this point, MilOtic has pretty much done her job, and I can still keep her around even with the Scarf. I know she's going to be very handy for me. So again, thinking he would go for the Giga Drain, I'm actually going to switch directly out into my Victini, which means now at the amount of HP that Virizion is at, I know a U-turn will be able to finish him off, and even if he does want to switch out, the hazards will be able to finish him off. So at that point, Virizion is pretty much dead. As I U-turn now into my Xatu, his last remaining Pokemon are the Umbreon, the Azelf, and the Gligar. So he does bring in the Umbreon, and here is the most important play of the game. He's going to go for the Protect, just to gain back recovery. Now, the amount of HP that the Umbreon is at, you might think he's actually above 100 HP, which is what he actually banked on me thinking he was above 100 HP, knowing that I wouldn't be able to finish off Umbreon. I would switch out into my Victini or anything else. He could stay in and go for the Wish, then go for Protect, but no, I did decide to stay in, risk it. He was below 100 HP, I'm able to get rid of it, and at this point, MilOtic can deal with Azelf and Gligar accordingly, so that is going to be the victory in my favor. So yeah, good game, HydreigonMaster. I actually had a whole lot of fun in this battle because I got to use Xatu, one of my favorite Pokemon, and a Pokemon that I do believe is very underrated, and that a lot of people should use more often. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, you know what to do. So with that said, make sure to go check out my good friend HydreigonMaster, and I do believe I am out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Later.